Okay. So, we just had a pretty intense shopping situation.
Yeah, for sure. We're in Florida visiting my mom for the holidays with our kids, and it's our last night here, and it's been kind of overcast, so unfortunately I haven't made any videos. I was looking forward to making some with the nice sunsets and stuff, but we had an interesting experience just now because we decided we were going to make a dinner. We've eaten tons of fresh vegetables. We've been pounding them in, staying really healthy, doing walks, making juices.
Amazing salads we've made, just unbelievable. Copious amounts of salad.
Lots of citrus juices. We did some watermelon today. But here it is. We powered through all of our food that we bought, and we went to Whole Foods and a farmer's market when we first arrived. So tonight we're like, the kids are going to have pizza with my mom, and they have some other people over. So me and Michelle went out and decided we would kind of get something to relax with and have something kind of packaged.
Yeah, something that wouldn't require all the preparation that we've been doing each night to make dinner.
And would give us the fun of kind of like having something made. And I was kind of thinking, dumplings, maybe some veggie dumplings, some vegan dumplings. So we decided to give Trader Joe's a try, because we passed Trader Joe's. We were going to go to a Whole Foods, and we passed Trader Joe's on the way to Whole Foods. A very interesting experience. Went into Trader Joe's, could not find a single bag of frozen anything that was vegan. Not a single one. Okay.
Other than just plain vegetables.
Oh,
there were mixed vegetables that we found that would be considered vegan.
Okay.
But that was it. There was no kind of...
Yeah, and that kind of defeats the purpose,
exactly, right?
I mean, we might as well just
make our own
veggies
exactly.
then. I mean, the idea was to just sort of get some supplies for tomorrow, because we're going to be on the plane tomorrow. We're going to be traveling with the kids, so we got a bunch of sort of fruit and snacky foods and things and little power bars and things like that, so we could try to avoid eating too much airport food, or any airport food for that matter. And just trying to figure out what we'd have for dinner tonight. But it's just for me and Michelle, because everyone else is going to have pizza. We tried Trader Joe's, nothing. We really tried. We were in there for 20 minutes. We're like, okay, let's just bail. We'll go back to Whole Foods. And it became
really quickly very interesting, because in our experience, Trader Joe's is known for its interesting packaged foods. It's kind of what we've come to associate it with, but...
And health foods.
And healthy.
I always thought Trader Joe's was like a healthy place.
Yeah.
But it's kind of relative, isn't it? Because our definition of healthy is so different now that we're on the vegan trail that...
we had to bail.
We had to bail. And then I'm like, okay, Whole Foods really is about the Whole Foods, even though, believe me, they have their aisles, full of stuff that is not at all Whole Foods and packaged and prepared and all that stuff. But at the core, they have the produce, and they have more options. And we thought we'd have better luck there.
So we had to bail.
Yeah, we had to bail from Trader Joe's. We thought, this is a perfect time. Like, we're not in a rush. We don't have time to sort of comparison shop, except in the throes of normal life normally. So we've been using shopping for food as a bit of a entertainment activity to keep ourselves from going insane, because we're in South Florida and it's all we live in a city, so we're used to a little bit more mobility outside of cars, but here it's all cars and strip malls and things like that. So we bailed on Trader Joe's, and I have to say I was kind of disappointed. I was like, this is a perfect opportunity to give them a shot, give them a chance, how I can fit them into my agenda, my plan, our diet, our vegan situation. It didn't work. Just was a total fail. So, off to Whole Foods with a lot more optimism, and we did find stuff there, though we had to shop kind of hard.
Yeah.
So we ended up getting this little mishmash of things that, on some level is not cool, because I know I'm going to have I'm stepping into definitely some little bit of discomfort. I know I'm going to have a little discomfort because we're mixing
you mean
a
the
lot
combination?
Of things. Yeah, the combinations is just a little too much. And even if it's even if things we got vegan, like we looked at these burritos, and then they had wraps, and there was this brand called Amy's, and they had some like Indian wraps. One was a masala something, and
Yeah,
I
the
thought,
novelty of that was appealing,
we
right?
thought, yeah, it'd be great to have these, or we could put them in the freezer. Good to have them when one of us is alone at the house. Can pop one of those in. But I tell you, I'm a big anti-salt character. I'm talking about salt in processed foods and prepared foods. And, the sodium levels were just off the charts, like for a little tiny, about this big little wrap. It was 890 milligrams of sodium. And I'm like, I'm going to have to eat 3 times that much to fill myself up, even with some veggies and some salad or something. And so it just didn't work. We had to bail on that one.
Right.
I ended up buying a vegan pizza. Since the kids are having pizza, I thought, I'll walk in with a pizza. That wasn't too, because it says 3 servings. It's a disc about this big. 3 servings.
But you'll eat the whole thing.
I'll eat the whole thing. Mm-hmm. So it's 300 and change milligrams per serving. So under 1,000 milligrams of sodium. Still, in my book, a ton of sodium. It's all relative, right? Because there's a ton of sodium in modern food, but I just think we're all way too overloaded on sodium. So I got one of those. We also did find some vegetable pot sticker type things, but they were made at Whole Foods, so they didn't have the sodium content. But I got 10 of those for $10. And by the way, the pizza was like $9.
Yeah, super expensive.
Expensive, right?
And then I found pasta. I found a gnocchi or a ravioli. I can't actually remember which one I ended up getting. It was 480 milligrams of sodium for each of 2 servings.
So you're going to
and I'm going to eat the whole thing because
I'm,
one serving of that size container is not enough for me.
Right.
So I'll be under 1,000 as well, but still, it's a lot of sodium.
It's a lot of sodium compared to our normal deal. I mean, we don't normally eat that kind of quantity of sodium because we're not eating prepared foods. Tonight I'm going to let it happen because we've been really working hard and really hydrating, chugging a lot of liquid and peeing and chugging and peeing and eating and pooping and just like moving all of this moisture. So I am feeling very hydrated. I'm feeling very, very good. We've been doing a lot of walking, but I don't know. I guess what's the bottom line with the prepared foods? That there aren't enough choices that are really healthy, that offer you a little respite from the regular deal. Like I did notice a section that said vegan and vegetarian. It was like a little section that had all the tofu in it. But it also had like this thing called a celebration roast. And it was like a fake roast. It was a little tiny meat-looking thing that was roast, that was made out of vegetables and tofu and all this. And it was roasted in flavors and spices. And it was $10. And I guess that's something, for a celebration. You can have that kind of thing. I did see some vegan beef tips, that were like spiced faux beef, that I was like, oh yeah, I could make a stir fry out of that and have the experience of beef.
Yeah.
But not at those levels of sodium. The levels of sodium of some of these things, were 1,100 milligrams per serving, and the servings are this big. You're going to eat 2 servings or 3 servings.
Right.
I'm not going to eat.
I mean, in our current mentality of abundance, not restriction.
Right.
To restrict yourself to such a small sample portion size, it just doesn't jive with the way that we've been eating.
Right.
So you go and you have this faux beef, but you have only like 4 pieces.
What's the point?
It just doesn't seem like exactly. You might as well.
I might as well not
go back and just make your own freaking stir fry. So you could eat tons of what you're eating. You know?
Which gets like a little shaker of salt in there, a pinch of salt.
And other spices, right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see for me at least, I don't see the point if I can't have abundance. Like with the pot stickers, I wanted to find a frozen bag of vegan or veggie pot stickers that was like a 20 in there, and I could just mow on those things and not worry about it. I guess what I'm going to have to learn to do is make my own. I have to learn to make my own.
Yep.
But what we were experimenting with tonight was more about trying to figure out, just trying to get more comfortable with the idea of what can we walk into a store and buy, even a Whole Foods, so we could tell people to get something in advance of arriving, or know for ourselves if we're out in the world and we're getting desperate that we can walk in, buy some prepared frozen foods and just eat that stuff, and it's good, and it's like not too bad. You're gonna have some kind of trade-off, and in this instance,
sodium.
It's the sodium for sure.
Right.
Sodium seems to be the one thing that we can't seem to keep low sodium, and I'm big on this. Like I love pasta my whole life, but I've always been very careful with pasta sauce because even just canned tomato sauce is so easy to end up overloading on salt. You can buy a big can of, say, peeled tomatoes in a can, and one brand will have 20 milligrams of sodium per serving, and the other one will have 450 milligrams of sodium per serving. And these are servings that are a joke by our modern standards, and as Americans, we eat large portions. It's easy to end up with way too much sodium. So, anyway, very interesting.
It's very eye-opening experience. It really was. It was a great experiment, and again, we honor the fact that we have time to do it. In our normal day-to-day routine, I'm sure we would not be able to take this kind of time.
Or money.
Really,
it was expensive.
Oh my gosh.
We're not going to spend that kind of money. I could feed the whole family with fresh vegetables for that amount.
Right.
So convenience is actually, you really pay a penalty.
Big penalty.
For convenience.
Yeah.
It is expensive having to pay for convenience in terms of being pre-prepared or packaged. Although I do want to have in my back pocket a bunch of options that do that. I want to have some options. And it disturbs me that it wasn't, even with our good intent, we couldn't get a bunch of choices. I mean, even the vegan pizza. What is a vegan pizza anyway? What is it going to be made out of? It's going to, it's the first vegan pizza that has cheese, that has a cheese-like substance that actually melts. Okay, This is.
But it's all relative, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
this is about trying to satisfy the desire or the craving for something that's sort of standard. We were talking last night about John Kohler had this video on about this crazy new tool that he was very excited about, European tool that you'd make these zucchini noodles out of. A really cool noodle making machine where you'd spin it and it would make these long noodles. And why do we do that? Why do we need to take the zucchini, make it into looking like noodles so that we can eat it, calling it pasta, or make a dish that takes noodles and the sauce when we could just eat the zucchini? And it's because we all have these deeply ingrained associations that are emotional and needs for certain types of dishes, certain types of meals. I, for one, grew up on Italian food. I grew up in New York. Italian food was built into my upbringing. And Italian is the kind of thing that, I want to find alternatives to these. I don't expect to just strip it all away and eat whole foods to the point of in the shapes of their original form. Like, we change their shapes. Another one example, like Dan McDonald was doing one the other day for, I saw a video for scrambled eggs. But it's really raw scrambled eggs. He was making it for Sophia, and he's saying this is what she needs to stay raw. And I want to be able to make this for her. And he's like, I don't do it anymore because I don't want, it's too complicated for me. I want to keep it simple. He mixed all this other stuff together and put it in the Cuisinart, and he made a scrambled egg-like experience, texture, consistency, flavor. I think it's valuable. I think it's important to do that, It's important to have that. So
that keeps you on the straight. If it keeps you on the plan,
eating more,
it,
that's the raw game.
Right.
We're doing the vegan game right now, which is in that direction, right? But we ate a ton of raw this week, didn't we?
Oh yeah.
We ate a ton of raw. I couldn't believe how much vegetables, fruits and vegetables we put down. And we're not leaving my mom with anything because she won't eat it, and it's not gonna spoil, and we can go home feeling like we got it in our bodies, and that's awesome. That's totally awesome.
All right.
I'm happy about that. Sorry that this is kind of another car ride video. I'm kind of tired of these car ride videos. I like the cool backgrounds and I like more interesting environments, but it's been an overcast, gray Florida time here. We haven't had a lot of nice sunsets like I had hoped. I was hoping to do some sunset videos. So be it. But we'll share about this it's good to share about this experience at the shopping, you know. Thanks for doing the video, Michelle.
Sure thing. Onward and upward.